Caitlin Clark, Fever, back in action tonight against the Atlanta Dream. You know, Clark struggled Wednesday night. Had just 10 points in the first game back from a groin injury. This will be the third time, though, Clark and the Fever have faced the Dream this season. Caitlin's averaging 19 points, 8 assists against Atlanta. Two teams split their previous two meetings. So let's bring in our reporter, Alexa Philippou. She joins us now. Okay, so tonight, Caitlin Clark's back after that 5-game absence she had. What has she said about, let's say, the mental challenges of being out so long?
Well, Brian, she admitted herself that it has been difficult mentally. It's a challenge that she's never had to experience before this season across her college and pro career, sitting out games, let alone the kind of stop and go nature of what her season's been like so far, of having to first sit out with that quad injury, come back, and now be sidelined with the groin injury. But she said that throughout this process, it's also given her a perspective of how lucky she's been to be able to have this sort of position that she's had in the game and being able to be relatively healthy throughout her long career, saying that she now kind of has a little bit of a glimpse of what it's like to deal with injuries like other players have in basketball and her peers in the league, or to not play as many minutes on the court as she's used to, or not completely feel like herself. And I also had the opportunity to speak with assistant coach Breon January, who's really leaned into Caitlin Clark during this time that she's been out. And Caitlin said that that's been a really great resource for her. January told me that she's really proud of the way that Clark has really leaned into trusting the process, not getting too frustrated, even though it can be hard at times, and that she's really used this opportunity to improve and really lean into that leadership and to better serve her teammates while she's been out. Yeah, you can see obviously the injuries affected her rhythm, her jump shot. Caitlin Clark's just 3 for 28 over her last 4 games when you talk about shooting from 3. Let's see, and let's talk more big picture, because the Fever are now 5-5 when Caitlin Clark plays, 4-5 when she doesn't play. So what has the team said about being more consistent going forward? Well, that's really been the name of the game, because they feel like that inconsistency has been a huge problem for them. It's to the point where Sophie Cunningham told us reporters yesterday that they're getting a little frustrated by it. Cunningham even used the words pissed off to describe the attitude that they've had coming off that game on Wednesday, when they really struggled with just a lack of energy and poor execution. And so for them, they know that that has to be something that, yes, they're going to have to be intentional about improving. But Coach Stephanie White even said it has to also happen organically. They need to make sure they're being consistent with their habits and practice on both ends of the floor. But when you talk about going up against the Dream tonight, as you were alluding to earlier, that's a really tough matchup for them. They've had 2 of those games decided by a combined 6 points. And so Kelsey Mitchell said yesterday that they're really going to have to make sure that they're the ones punching first, that they're not the ones getting punched in the mouth like they were against Golden State. And that Stephanie White also added they're going to have to play with a level of desperation, not just today, but moving forward, because this league is simply too good, and they have to really fully embrace and understand that you just have a very small margin for error when you go up against these other WNBA teams. All right, we'll see what happens when they take the court tonight. That's Alexa Philippou with the latest. Thank you, Alexa.